Howdy, Mark Greathouse here. I deeply appreciate all you folks who buy my westerns. My sixth Tumbleweed Saga novel, Oasis Truth, Texans Face War's Realities, published by Defiance Press and Publishing, is filled with the delivery of frontier justice. Now that having been said, today's video, well, it's spun a tad differently, because I'm on a mission. You know, it's been a fascinating year so far. My wife and I celebrated our first grandchild just a couple of weeks back. And back in April, well, you're looking at somebody turn the big 8-0. Kind of fascinating that my serious creative efforts of authoring Western genre fiction came later in life, after a successful business career writing most anything but Westerns. Since 2019, Defiance Press has published 8 of my books. Meanwhile, I have 5 completed Western genre manuscripts in my hip pocket, ready to be published, including the 7th and final of the Tumbleweed Sagas. There have been a few magazines and newspaper articles salted in, but what I'll share with you today, well, it's just a tad bigger. It's going to take a white hat. As I said, I'm on a mission. Have you ever asked yourself what your life meant? That's a heavy-duty question. What's your legacy? Well, if I were to lay a theme across my published works to date, you'd find an undercurrent of justice and redemption. Nice message? Well, my friends, I don't see that as being nearly enough. Our nation is at a tipping point where we desperately need godly men and women, and it begins with children. I wrapped up the first book of a series that bends my God-given creative talents in a new direction. I've hitched up my big boy pants and prayerfully embarked on a series of Western adventure novels aimed at teens while weaving a Christian message within its fabric. The pages of this series will not offer the gratuitous expletives and supposedly woke messages found in today's Western genre filmography and plastered around our nation's media, academia, corporations, and government. Jack's frontier adventure will light fires of truth, faith, hope, and life purpose in the bellies of today's teen boys and girls. Who am I to deliver this message? Shoot, I hate to toot. It sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, but you gotta know. I've served on a school board and led the fight to stop the so-called Common Core one-size-fits-all abomination. I homeschooled my 2 sons to ensure their fullest possible education. I taught college business courses, led church Bible and book study groups, led a nonprofit teaching learning disabled children, headed the Chamber of Commerce of a large metropolitan county, served in executive roles with corporations, helped entrepreneurs succeed, including on angel investment, coached sports teams, served as a scout leader, hiked and camped much of the Appalachian Trail, studied the history and walked the trails of the West, and plenty more. I reckon to have a fair idea of what it takes to raise godly boys and girls in a culture that demeans both genders. Jack's Frontier Adventure provides a path to achieving that mission. Every parent should want it to be theirs. Yeah, the Texas frontier was vulnerable to desperados, bandits, and hostile Indians. Texas Ranger Luke Dunn, the protagonist in my Tumbleweed Sagas, can't escape the lawlessness, yet he'd never utter an expletive even if his life depended upon it. I know that flies in the face of much of today's Western fare. I'm convinced that the great Western novels can be written and enjoyed without gratuitous bowing down to authors who think curse words equal authenticity. Whether with my adult-targeted Tumbleweed Sagas or teen-targeted adventure series, I'm holding the line against a supposed woke culture. My most recent saga, Oasis Truth, catches readers up in the dynamic sweeping the South Texas frontier at the close of the war between the states. You can sense aromas of gunsmoke, leather, trail dust, and bluebonnets. Gritty, tough, it's part and parcel to our hero's life as he must face the detritus of post-war reconstruction. But he need not cuss. All of my books to date have been published by Defiance Press and Publishing and are available online from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and most popular online booksellers. This year, we all celebrate the 200th anniversary of the Texas Rangers. Celebrate by buying all my Tumbleweed sagas, especially the recently released Nueces Truth, Texans Face Wars Realities. Oh, and please remember that my anthology of short stories and poetry, Tumbleweed Tumblings, Western Tales and Verses, also awaits your reading pleasure. Go online, buy your copies today. Meanwhile, I do urge you to find yourself a comfy place and let your imagination come alive reliving America's Old West through my inspired writings. You don't even need spurs or saddle. Enjoy a cup of coffee, even sip a glass of wine or something more potent. And I'd be especially obliged if you post a review. So happy trails, and you all do take care, and stay tuned for Jack's Frontier Adventure.